Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the big show. We back today. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Come on in the house. How's everybody doing today? All right. Sounds looking good. Videos all right. What's going on? How's everybody's day going today? Come on in. Come on in. We're gonna give y'all a few minutes to come on in here. Be comfortable. Hopefully we'll get some good call-ins today. I'm expecting a special guest to call in. Uh, she said she wanted to call in on this one. So hopefully she'll come on through and bless us. Come on in. You're welcome. Come on in. Everybody a few more minutes to come on in here. Looking forward to the game tonight. It's gonna shoot. I missed a lot of I saw the first half, and then at work they cut it off for the DJ screens. But hopefully we get to watch it tonight. We home all we off tonight. We enjoying our rest, and I look forward to watching this ball game. So who y'all got? I got Phoenix to win. I think Phoenix gonna win. I want to see Chris Paul uh, get him a championship. He deserves it. Come on in. Now, if y'all don't come on, I'm preach to myself, and I'm gonna sit on back and watch this game. Oh boy, I had a good few days off last week. Got some rest. Got a couple things done. Uh, when you work weekend after weekend after weekend, I didn't know what to do with myself being off on the weekend again, and it was needed. I needed the rest. I needed to recharge and just take my mind. Sometimes you got to take your mind off work and hell adulting in general. Sometimes and just take time out for you and get yourself together and refocus on what you want and what you need out of life and how you plan on getting there. Those things are always important, and that's pretty much what I did on my little mini vacation. Uh, just rest, rule and abide, and uh, came back to work this Monday, and hell, it was back to chaos as normal. And I was talking to my one of my little work nieces, and she was like, "Yeah, you need to do this show. You got to do this show. You got to talk about this." So, and hopefully we won't step on too many toes, but I know this is going to be a painful subject for some. And and for y'all that don't know, that's what we're talking about today. Oh, mommy dearest. Oh my goodness. Mommy dearest. Mmm. Mmm. The wire hangers? Mmm. Mama didn't play that shit. No, I didn't work the fourth at all. I was at home resting and enjoying my day off, enjoying my rest. And I needed it. Now, if Deja don't come in, Deja, come on in here now. You wanted this. I'm giving it to you. No, it ain't just on Deja. I've been working on this show particularly for a while. Didn't know how I was gonna break it in. Because I know this is a touchy, sensitive subject. Oh, there she go. Okay, there go my niece. I was about to say, I know I was calling on you. So we're gonna go ahead and go in then. We 5 minutes away out, so let's go. Mommy Dearest. Hey, y'all remember days just before your time, but Mommy Dearest was a movie. The woman, I think she adopted the little girl, and she abused the little girl the whole time she had her, just beat her. A little girl couldn't have no life. She had to be pretty much a baby doll. Had to look. I'm gonna make it public. She had to look and act a certain way, and it messed up the child's mind as she got older. And I always have a thought that, well, however a parent treats a child, that's how they was treated. No matter how bad it is, no matter how toxic, as y'all like to say it, I like to say dysfunctional. However dysfunctional it may be, that's the dysfunction that the mother grew up in. And I see I've met so many women over the years. I've dated women over the years, women I've loved actually. And they could not shake that mama. That it was something about that overbearing, evil in some senses, controlling, emotionless, stoic, cold-hearted mother that just and it's funny how we can sometimes see the mother being evil and being wrong and being horrible, but then we still can't stop ourselves from being in that certain pattern because that's all you know. You can't help but to love your mama. You can't help but to worship her in a certain way, in a certain sense, especially in our communities. Mama's right next to God. So, you can say what you want to say about daddy. He ain't shit. But mama, oh no, mama is everything. She's the queen. She's Jehovah Jireh, my provider. She's everything. I was very close to my mother. I didn't. She wasn't a dysfunctional woman at all. It's some things that I didn't agree with her growing up, of course, that I didn't bring into my style of parenting. There was some things I changed, but for the most part, I took the blueprint she gave me and just ran with it because, hell, I figured I'd turn out all right. And she was my hero. So why not pattern myself after her? But I know it's a lot of women out there that can't do that. They don't have that testimony. They struggle with their mother. They fought with their mother. They're still fighting with their mother. It's some that have to smile in their mama's face and they can't stand her guts because she's been so controlling and so opinionated, and she won't let you grow up, and she smothers you, and you have a good man and she runs that man off with her craziness and her nonsense. And I told my niece one time at work, and I told a couple other people, hell, I had a mother break up with me for her on her daughter's behalf. We were going through things. She called me. Yeah, this is over with. This is done. And don't call her. Don't text her. I'm like, damn, did we fuck? I don't recall, but stranger things have happened. So, there's not a whole lot I can say about this subject. I just want to open up the floor really today. My niece Deja, my work niece, she wants to call in and she wants to give her testimony. I don't want nobody else calling in until Deja finished because she said she wanted to preach on this today. And so I present to some and introduce to others. I hope she's ready. Let me put the invite out there so she can come on in here. Deja, I hope you're ready, baby. Don't get scared now. Let me see. See, now you need a second. Okay, we're going to wait on you. Well, there go the link right there. And when you're ready, you come on in with the word. I know when the guest speaker preaches, they got to sit there and Why does that? Where my church people at? Why the guest speaker sit there like this the whole service before they get up there to preach? Why they be sitting there like that? I always wonder why they can't say amen, they can't move, they can't dance, they can't sing. And I know the music be sounding good. They just be. I'd be like, hell, is they sleep? What is y'all doing? Come on. Then they do all that shit and they get up and ain't preach the word, just talking. They got a whole telephone book of notes. They ain't talking about nothing. They got this long introduction. They trying to channel in. Well, hell, they need a channel before they get there. But they be having that long introduction. Oh, he preached at the funeral of Dr. Martin Luther King, and oh, he's got 5, 6 doctorates, and more importantly, he's got that BA, that born again degree. And oh Lord, mess. Deja, we waiting on you. And anybody else that wants to chime in, I know it's hard to talk bad about your mama sometimes, but hell, sometimes we draw bad hands in life. Sometimes we don't get the best parent that we can ask for, and we got to do what we got to do, what we have to do with. Okay, that's all right. Take your time. I can ramble for a few more minutes. I got people in my family, man. I heard them preach their children their whole life. When you turn 18, you're gonna get the fuck out of my house. You ain't gonna be up in here like that. Oh hell no, you gonna get the hell up out of here. And then the child get out. Oh Lord, I miss my babies. I don't get to see my grandbabies. Oh, they just do me so wrong. I'm like, hey, you told them when they get out your house, they can't come back. And that's what they believe. They believed you. You know, and I know this is a stretch, but if we have any mothers out there that's overbearing and overpowering, why don't y'all come on in here and call in too? That's the worst thing a parent can do is kick them out. I agree. I think in this climate, and when especially what we're dealing with in Nashville, you sending your children out there, you setting them up for failure. No matter how well you teach them or prepare them for finances and credit and have all that together, man, you miss one check, you in bad shape. You in bad shape. And especially with pandemic and all sorts of illness running around and pestilence and all that stuff, you kicking your child out, you putting them back out there so they can come right back. And my thing is, go ahead and Nashville ridiculous. And so why are you gonna put them out there, have to turn back around and have to him beg you and fix their mouth and we only need a couple months. We had a hard time. Mama, I don't have nowhere else to go. Well, mama, you knew that when the child was 18. You in such a hurry to get him out so you can walk around naked and fuck all over the house. And then the child out here, the child wasn't ready to go out there. Hell, you ain't, let me stop. Oh, I almost told somebody business. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Hell, take it up with the Lord. Hell, you barely making your damn self. You subsidized. Hell, you asking the child for money to help pay the rent. That's why so many of us are so in a hurry for the children to get grown. You got to pay this bill and pay that bill. Hell, you've been struggling for years. Oh, I know I'm telling the truth. I know I'm speaking the word. You've been needing that child to grow up so they can help with your rent. Because you've been struggling and sucking to get the rent paid, and now coochie number $40. Yeah, you take a whole lot to get to 400 when you show. So you put your children out, and all that kind of stuff. And when they're out here and they're doing well, then you want to be all up in them. Yeah, you want to be all up in their house, all up in their mix. Oh, what y'all got going on? Yeah, I'm living. I'm trying to live. I tell the story of my mama. She didn't hurry and put me out. My mama waited till hell. She knew I was ready. Hell, I knew I was ready. I was just being lazy. And when I left the house, uh, she found me a place not too far from her, so I can come back and wash clothes and whatnot, and make sure I can get myself together. The rent was the same exact amount I was giving her already, so she pretty much set me up completely to where hell, if you failed the food, you just fell on her. You just did it on your own terms. Hell, it was almost foolproof. And hell, I gave her a key. And hell, there wasn't no problem for her to come over and after chemo and lay in my bed and rest and all that kind of stuff and play with the grandbabies. You know, I had a great relationship, especially after I got grown. You know, I know a lot of these people, they having these problems when they're grown. And it blows my mind. And really, I know it's heartbreaking for them because you, like I said, you taught to love your mama. You taught that she's everything to you. She's giving you life. She's giving you a piece of her. And then you grow up and you go through the changes of life, and it seemed like mama just, I don't know if she changed or she just, and a lot of them grow up, you know, your mama want to be your friend until, you know, you don't want to be friends no more, or you got something going on and it's a problem. I used to have that problem a lot with one of my exes. If she had a man, our stuff was perfect. If she didn't have no man, both hands all up in our shit. Y'all spending too much time together. Y'all need to stay away from each other so y'all can miss each other. Who said that, bitch? We didn't ask you for that. We were fine. We didn't complain. Well, I just think you just a little too old for her, and you got kids, and she ain't lived her life yet. Hell, you lived yours. Let her live her. Why you worried about it? Hell, you was out here hoeing. But as soon as you get you a man, Mr. Ernest come through there. Oh, it was, when y'all going out? What y'all do? Y'all gonna do something this weekend? Y'all have a good time? I don't know why she just don't go ahead and leave some clothes over there at your house. Much she over there. Yeah, now you ready to put her out with Mr. Ernest over there. But as soon as you piss Mr. Ernest off and he said, no, I ain't coming, where you going? You dressing like a slut. You dressing like a, I've heard these mamas tell these girls that. You know, tell their daughter, you look like a harlot. You're a whore. You're slutting around. I ain't raised you to be like that. Just, I don't know. And I always see, I see daughters struggle with that more than dudes. With dudes, we more so just cater to mama, whatever mama want. I've seen guys just go overboard, the mama boys, and I hear women complain about that. Oh, you know, he can't be bothered with me for his mama. Oh, that reminds me, ladies. So your man go pick up his mama. Y'all going shopping or going somewhere, y'all going to dinner or whatever. Who go in the front seat, you or mama? Come on, give me some comments. Tell me who going in the front seat, you or mama? Slaws, who going in the front seat, you or mama? And mama ain't old and decrepit. Sorry about that, y'all getting, but the mama usually would run to the back. Well, I done had to stuff my big ass in the back seats for mamas and shit. I don't mind, but I know women take it personal when the mama got to get, why she got to sit up front? Why y'all get mad when mama need to sit up front? I think mama should supposed to sit up front. I think it's cute. Yeah, I think it's cute to see mama in the front seat. I think mama deserved the front seat. Yeah, that mama had the front seat. Yeah, I've sat in the back seat when mama was getting in the car, and hell, this girl mama was 4'9". She was a miniature, little miniature thing. And she hurried up and got in that front seat. I didn't mind. She looked back at me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, that's fine. As a female, you will see how he would treat you. Where y'all get that from? Where y'all get that myth from? Do y'all really believe that? Ladies, do y'all believe how a man treats his mama is how he gonna treat his woman? Where y'all get that from? Because I think that's something a woman made up. That's more appropriate. Sometimes it just depends on the man. Because I've known some dudes treat their mama like she was Jesus Christ that just came off the cross, and then treat his girl like the worst hoe in the world. Yeah, you can go ahead and call. I don't know where Deja is, but we talking about mama dearest. You gonna talk about your mama? We got time today. Come on. Whosoever will, let them come. You can come by letter, come by candidate for baptism, come on your Christian experience.
Can hear now.
All right, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. You said, where do we get that from?
Yeah, they lie.
I think it's for some. It's not for all. But usually, from what I can see, like the ones that really catered to their mom or just made sure she was okay, that's how they will review. But if they had any type of argument or their mom or whatever,
Your phone breaking up.
Oh, Jesus. What about now?
Still going in and out.
You're trying. Hear me?
Do it now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you can hear me?
It's still a little muffled, but go ahead.
I don't know why. I might have to hang up and do it again.
You clear now.
What about now?
Clear.
Okay. Usually how they treat them and we see them cater to them, that's usually how they do you. But if they don't have a good relationship with their mom, it kind of flows right into how they are with you. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes
Okay,
it's a
Deja, go
mirror
ahead.
image.
When you call, I'll just bring you on in.
Oh, she's on now?
No, not yet. She's coming.
Okay. Okay.
So y'all really believe that how he treats his mama is how he gonna treat you?
Yeah, because like more recently for me, like the last person, they had a really toxic relationship with their mom. As much as they wanted their mom's love, they didn't get it how they wanted it. And sure as shit, when stuff went sideways with us, you could have been talking about a Christmas ornament, and then everything that he wanted to say to her, I got, and it was like, whoa. And then at that moment, I took myself out of it, and it was like that wasn't even for me. That was for your mama, you know. And then you find out months later, well, you remember that day we got into it? Yeah. Well, I just had to tell my mom how I really felt. Oh, okay. So you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, from what I've seen, it's either hit or miss. But ultimately, however their relationship is with their mom or a guy, that's usually how they treat their female sometimes.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, uh that's not my testimony, but I mean that's interesting to hear women say that. Interesting.
And then they've even went as far as to say like let's say they're doing something, and I'm like, well, could you not play your music so loud? Then instantly is, well, okay, mama. Whoa, what? Just because you asked, like, could you? It instantly goes into like them being a kid all over again, and then you're trying to tell them what to do, but since they don't have that good relationship with their mom, you're instantly in that mom role because you're pissing them off, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, now you don't screw your mama, so don't refer to me as your motherfucking mama, you know what I'm saying? So it's twisted. It's twisted, it really is. But it's real sad to see a male try to win the love of their mother. That shit, that's a doozy. It's bad for a female too. It's bad for either. But that's real trippy to see a guy constantly, whenever mama calls, they dropping everything and they going. But it's not done for them. Once they've got what they wanted, once they got what they needed, they cut that son off, you know. So I've seen it on both sides. But I think it's more damaging to the male because the male has to be the head. But if the first woman that he loved massacres them, woo, you've made it impossible for a female to ever truly get close to you because you got the ultimate betrayal from your mother. And usually they'll say, oh, well, Granny loved me. My mom's mom loved me. I love Granny. So it's like they shift towards the Granny, but they're still torn because they don't have that mother, you know?
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, I got a different philosophy, but I can dig that. But what about these mothers? We talking about mama dearest today.
Mm.
How do we deal with damaging mothers? How do we deal with mothers who have damaged their children, have dominated their children's lives? I mean, I can tell horror story after horror story after horror story. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody. I ain't gonna say their name
Mm-hmm.
because they mamas passed, but I remember when he was born, his mama was stopped at farmers market when it was a grocery store. For you youngins, y'all don't know nothing about that. That's what a flea market is now. What a flea market is used to be a grocery store called farmers market, not the one with the eatery, but it was actually a grocery store.
Kim's
They
Boutique.
sold Kroger products, believe it or not. And his mama was walking in. This lady was walking out, and she told her she had such a beautiful baby. She said, "Well, thank you. Do you want him?"
Oh,
And
shit.
she thought she was playing. The woman thought she was playing. She's like, "No, I'm serious. You get him right now." She gave that woman her child right then and there. The boy grows up to about 9, 10 years old. He don't know that that's not his real mama. But then the lady that adopted him and been raising him, she decides she no longer wants him. Sends him out, and he's been in and out of prison, jail, whatever, ever since. And probably could have been something, but because he's been abandoned by two mothers. He felt like nobody wanted him. But the streets took him with arms wide open. That's why it's funny to me when I hear people say, when people act out, oh, they just need their dad in their life. Oh, they just miss their dad and all this, that, and the other. But you had a mama. Where was your mama at? What was mama doing? Did mama just put that excuse out there to excuse her foolishness? Oh, he just need his dad in his life. Uh-oh, I'm offline? Uh-oh.
No, I hear you.
Now I think I'm offline on the Facebook.
Oh. Let me see.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay.
I'm back. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, are we using fathers as an excuse? That's the lack of thereof to cover up the mama's failures, the mama's misses, the mama's shortcomings.
I think it could be a cover up for sure.
Not to say daddy's role is not important, but even in a biblical sense, it's not daddy's job to raise the children. I mean, he's supposed to help. Don't get me wrong, but he's supposed to go out and provide. The mother is the head of the child. Okay, I think I got. Here we go. Come on, Deja.
Do I need to hang up?
You might just need to mute. Hold on. Deja, that's you, honey? Oh, she can't hear me yet. Okay, Deja, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, I've been waiting for this live stream to talk kind of about my experience with everything. So I'm 22 years old. I've kind of had an issue with my mom for like the past 5 years. It kind of started when I graduated high school and was on my way to college. I think she sheltered me a lot when I was younger, since I was her firstborn and that I am a female. So she's kind of always sheltered me into trying to stay home with her. And, it was kind of hard to let me go once I got to college. But it kind of all started in 2019. She was involved with a man that I called my stepfather. He was in my life since my sophomore year in high school. And he had passed away in February of 2019. It was kind of heartbreaking for me because he was there for me. I did not have my biological father in my life. So it was kind of, it kind of brought me a lot of happiness to have a man who was not my biological father be there for me. So when he passed away, it was definitely devastating for me. So then she got involved with this other man and it kind of went left. Like me and her really didn't get along. She felt like that I didn't like the man for nothing. Like she felt like I didn't have a reason not to like him. And, I've explained to her over and over, like, I'm still grieving over this man that I thought was going to be in my life forever. So it's kind of hard to accept this new man that you want to bring into our life. And I had my own like personal reasons on why I really didn't care for him. First off, it was because, I feel like with me, if you want to be involved with my mother, I feel like, she comes with a package deal. She has me, she has my younger brother. So I feel like if you want to be involved with her, you should be involved with us as her children. And to me, it just felt like that he didn't want to be involved with us. And that was kind of like one of my main reasons why I really couldn't, vibe with him. Cause I'm like, it's always my mother. It's never, us involved. I understand, we're older, but at the same time, like I do want to see my mother happy, and I want all of us to become this one big old giant happy family. Um, and so and that was in 2019. So in August of 2019, I decided to move out with my boyfriend because it was just so much animosity between us to where we had even gotten to a physical fight. And
Mm.
for like my whole entire life, I was like, I'm never going to put my hands on my mother. But it just got to that point because of this man. And it was just like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm going to be, I'm just going to go on and move on with my life. So as
Hold
soon
on,
as
right there. How did y'all reconcile after that?
So after we fought, I stayed with my aunt out east. I stayed with her for a week because, I still had to go to work. I still had to go to school. And
Mm.
being under that roof, I just felt like, I didn't want to fail school. I didn't want to fail my job. I had bills to pay. I had my own car. So, my aunt kind of got in the middle of it and was like, okay, this is your mother. She told my mom, this is your daughter. Like, y'all should be able to connect and apologize for whatever happened. And so I stayed with my aunt for a good week. And I reached out to my mother and I was like, I want to have a sit down conversation. I want to try to better our relationship. I want us to get along. Because, at the end of the day, like my mom's my best friend. She was the only
Mm-hmm.
one that raised me. I feel like I should come to you about anything. So
Right.
we sat down, we cried together. We let it out and, we were cool. I was still living out on my own. So then the guy that she was involved with had got locked up. And it was just weird because like, you know, we were starting to better a relationship. I don't know if it was because he was kind of out of the picture for a while, but then in March of last year, he had got out and specifically remember one day going to her house and just talking with her, and she came downstairs. Now normally when I go to my mom's house, I used to live there, so I can go wherever I please, but she had to come downstairs that day and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And she's like, well, so and so is back. And it literally took everything in me to like not snap. So I became the bigger person and I was like, I'll talk to you later. Like I have to go and try to calm myself down on what you just told me. And so from March of 2020 to the beginning of this year in January, actually, it was literally back and forth with her. And I was just like, I can't do it anymore. So let's go back. So when I found out that he was back, I kind of didn't speak to my mother for a little while because I was like, I just need to understand like what is it with this dude? Like,
Mm.
what is it? Um, so
What did you think it was?
I have no idea. Like she has told me that, he had a good heart and everything like that. But I was just like, you could tell me everything, but what this man's actions showed me, it was just like I couldn't get that good vibe from him.
Mm.
So it kind of all started when he came back. He actually tried to have a personal conversation with me about my personal life, like me being on birth control, not having any children yet. And I felt like it was kind of
That's
disrespectful.
inappropriate. That's inappropriate.
Exactly. And the only two people that I had told when it occurred was I told my boyfriend because by this time, this happened in like May or June of 2020. By this time, me and my boyfriend had to move back in with my mother because we had got kicked out of our first apartment because of some roommates we had, and it was a lot. So I was like, okay, let me just move back in with my mother, let us get back on our feet, so then we'll be able, go on about our business. So I did, tell my boyfriend, like, I felt very disrespected. It was very inappropriate. And then I also told my biological father, me and him actually got back on a good note. I visited him in March of 2020. I just needed some closure on, why he wasn't there. And, I'm getting to that age to where, like, you know, even though I am becoming a young adult, I would still like to have both of my parents in my life, including my biological father.
Hmm.
So I had told him about it, and he was like, you know, just tell your mother when you're ready, like, just calm down, just like stay to yourself, don't talk to him, whatever. So I was like, okay. So one specific day, I decided to tell my mother, you know, what happened. And she spazzed out. She was like, I don't know why you're upset with him. He was just trying to help you, yada, 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 whatever. And I'm like, Mom, like, this is about me. Like, my birth control and what I want to do in the future has nothing to do with this man.
Mm.
I really don't even know him like that. Like, you know,
Hmm.
so the issue started from there. You know, she was bickering every day. There were times to where, like, I didn't even feel the comfort in my mother's house. So after work, me and my boyfriend would go to like friends' house. Like, we would stay out all night to about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, just so that I wouldn't come home and have to deal with her.
Hmm.
And so then it had got to a point to where we had all got to arguing one day. Like, well, it really started off with me and my mom, and he chimed in and thought it was okay to disrespect me. Like, he was saying all kind of nasty things to me. And my boyfriend that I've been with for 4 years had decided to chime in, and my mama had got upset. And I'm like, so you think it's okay for your boyfriend to disrespect me, your child, and
Mm-mm.
you think my boyfriend is not going to say something? He is. And it got to a point to where my boyfriend's mother was called over there. My mom had called her, and, you know, we had told her the situation, and she basically came over to be a mediator and was like, you know, I understand y'all live here. I understand this is your mother's house, but I want all of y'all to get along. And she was like, she asked me and my boyfriend, like, what's the real issue? Like, I want y'all to talk calm. I just want y'all to be respectful of one another. So as I'm about to tell this man how I feel and how I want us to move forward because of my mother, he felt like it was okay to disrespect me again. So at that point, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with you. I'm over it. And it got really bad to where my mother started, I gave my mom a date to where I was moving out. I had signed my lease in August, but the apartment wasn't going to be ready until October of 2020, which I currently live now.
Mm.
But I had told her the day I signed the lease, I was like, look, this is my move out date. I'm just giving you a heads up just to let you know. And it was still bickering to where she kept saying, oh, well, you and your boyfriend got to go. Like, I don't know where y'all going to go. You can't wait until your move out date. Like, you have to leave. And I'm just like, all
Mm.
because of this man, all because of this man. Um, so me and my boyfriend decidedly moved out, and I didn't speak to her for a long period of time. And then in the beginning of this year, in January, he actually passed away. And a lot of people may think, you know, oh, you know, I'm so sorry. And I was like, I was heartbroken to find out that he passed away, because I know my mom and him were, you know, they were doing what they were doing. And me and him did actually have some good times. We did. We actually got cordial for a little while.
Mm.
So out of the respect of my mom, I did go to his funeral. I went to the viewing. I was there for her just to make sure she was okay, because I know that she truly loved him. And I know, you know, they wanted it to work, but, you know, unfortunately he passed. And so then about a few months ago, she actually decided to bring him up. And I was just like, you know, Mom, no disrespect, this man is not here anymore. So there's really nothing to talk about. Like, at the end of the day, I was still hurt by everything that had happened, especially with her, because I was like, you basically let a man come in between us. Because, you know, it's always been me, my mom, and my brother my whole life. It's always been the three of us. And so I felt like she kind of broken that for me. And I was very hurt.
Mm.
And, she used to get upset because I would go to my aunt about certain things, or I would go to my mother-in-law about certain things. And I'm like, Mom, I can't come to you because you feel like I shouldn't have an opinion on things, or I feel like, my feelings, you don't care about my feelings and how I feel. So I'm going to go talk to other women that's important in my life that understand where I'm coming from. And so me and her got into this big argument a few months ago, and I was basically telling her how I felt about the whole situation. And she thought it was okay to say, maybe you wanted him for yourself, or you
Mm.
were jealous because me and him were together, and all of this other nonsense. And I'm like, do you really hear yourself? Like, you really thought that I wanted to be involved with your boyfriend when I have a boyfriend of my own? And I wasn't jealous at the fact that y'all were together. I just felt like the relationship was toxic and y'all had this really bad energy in the house to where it affected everyone. That's
Mm.
why me and her didn't get along. That's why me and him didn't get along. And the crazy thing about it is you would think, okay, you're going through this with your mom and her boyfriend. Shouldn't you be arguing with your boyfriend? This actually made me and my boyfriend closely there to help me to kind of focus on the main thing, which is, he told me, look, as long as this man is here, your mom is not going to change. And it took me so long to understand that because I was spazzed out and I'm like, yo, like, I really want to talk to my mom, but I can't because he's here and he just feels like I shouldn't say anything to my mother or whatnot. So, now today, me and my mom are actually getting back into the relationship that I want to have. We're actually talking. Um, I do want us to possibly go to therapy later this year just to
Mm.
lay everything out on the table, just get all of this out because
Mm.
of the simple fact of, like, that's my mom. She raised me. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
you only have one mother, and I don't want it to get to a point to where me and my mom don't talk for a long time. And then, 10, 15, 20 years from now, I have children and they're asking about their grandmother. And I'm like, we're not speaking. Like, I want my mom to be involved in my life. I want her to be able to come to my wedding in the future, to be there when my first child is born. I want that.
Mhm.
But um, I did want to share my story because, I had to talk with you at work.
Mhm.
Um, and I did tell you, like, there are a lot of young adults that I know that have issues with their mom. And I just, want to encourage everyone that, you know, it doesn't matter what y'all go through. I know y'all can always come back to each other, just talk it out, communicate, even if you need to get a mediator to squash everything. It is hard for young females and their mothers to get along because of simple fact of the generation that we live in today. It's This world is crazy. And I do understand, for the moms out there, you want the best for your daughters. But I just feel like, once your daughters get to that point in age to where it's like, okay, they're starting to become a young adult, not saying that they're fully grown yet, but, starting to be mature as an adult, starting to talk as an adult, to act like an adult, to have opinions and feelings on different situations. I just feel like, you should kind of ease down, you know what I'm saying? So,
Mm.
yeah, and I do want to comment on what Miss Latia said about how a man treats his mother. Is that how he's going to treat you? And
Mhm.
I do agree on that.
Mhm.
Not 100%, because some men can treat their mother with the most respect in the world and still be disrespectful to his woman.
Mhm.
And then you can have some men that disrespect their mother like crazy, and
Mhm.
then they respect their girlfriend.
Mm.
But then you have some men who do both. They respect their mother and they respect their girlfriend, or they disrespect their mother and they disrespect their girlfriend.
Mhm.
So you just have to, like my boyfriend, for example, I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning of our relationship, him and his mother did have problems, to where we had problems. He never disrespected me, but we did argue a lot. He never disrespected his mom either, like never called out of her name, anything. They just didn't agree on certain things. And once he actually got that closure from his mom and they actually started to get along, you know, the arguments died down. Like I was able to even speak to his mom about certain things about him. And she was like, no, this is my child. I'm just letting you know. And so now, like today, like I love his mother. We're in a good place. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. So
Well, we thank you for that. I mean, I'm gonna say this. I know it's not easy to get on here and tell your business and put yourself out there, but I know you to be a very strong woman, and I knew this would not only help you, but it would help other girls and other women realize that sometimes, you know, you can squeeze a little too hard, you can squeeze a little bit too much, you can hold on a little too much, and then also you can push away,
right,
and not even realize what kind of damage that you're doing.
exactly.
And really, this is what I wanted my platform to be, so we can get some dialogue out here and some healing, and really address some real issues, and leave all that clowning, that bullshit, and that housewife stuff, and let them do that. You know, this right here is
Right.
for real people, and with
Can I
real
say something?
issues, and we trying to better ourselves, especially in the Black community. We really need these conversations to go forward. What you want to say, Tia?
Deja, I
Yes,
love
ma'am.
the way you were able to talk and express yourself. This will help you so much. One thing I can honestly say, when your mom made that comment about, and I was waiting for you to say it. Oh, well, you wanted him. Let me tell you something, and you don't even know me. Your mama know damn well you didn't have nothing or want to do nothing with that man. She
Right.
knows it, but that was something that she needed to tell herself for her to justify how she was treating you.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
It had nothing to do with you. And the thing is, your mom is hurting. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know how your mom was raised, but if you had the moment to think about how she was raised, was her mother in the picture? Was her grandmother in the picture? It's usually a cycle. Okay. And
Right.
you sound like you're breaking the cycle. You just said you graduated from high school. You had a father figure and who ended up passing away, but nonetheless, he was there. I don't know if your mom had that. Then you just say you were in school. So you went possibly further than your mom or any other female has, but I don't know this. Okay.
Right.
So you're on the right track. You have somebody that's there for you. You've just said 4 years. That may be something at your mom's age she did not have. So I feel it comes off as she's envying you. She's happy for you. I think she adores you. She loves you, but she doesn't have those skills to say it in the right way. So, it's just like in school, someone is liking you and what they do, the little boy come up and sock the girl in the arm. Now you're crying. But because he didn't know what to do with his emotions. He
Right.
didn't know what to do with his feelings. So it's kind of the same thing. So, I mean, counseling, I think it will help. And one thing I always tell people is sometimes once you get to a certain point in your life, it's not that you don't love your mother, it's not that you don't love your father, but you cannot put a lot of weight on titles. People say, oh, well, it's okay that this person did this because that's my mama, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my daddy. That doesn't make it right.
Right.
But you give them a pass because of that title. What I have had to do to cope with just moving forward is I take the title off. And then I say to myself, well, if a total stranger came up and disrespected me like that, how would I handle it? Okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then you say, well, dang, that deacon at the
Well,
church did this, huh?
I can tell you right now, because this happened the other night. Deja, if strangers come up with her disrespectful, Deja ready to whoop their ass. I had to hold her. I had
Oh,
to hold
yes.
her
Oh,
bite.
let me tell that story. Please let me
Go
tell
ahead.
that
The floor
story.
is yours. Go ahead.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. So Obviously, me and work at the same place, security at the bar. We were getting everybody out of this bar one particular night, 2:45, getting everybody out. And there was this older gentleman. I think he had to be at least in like 60s or 70s because he had like white hair. And he had dropped some money on the ground and he went down to pick it up. And I guess he lost his balance and fell.
Whole
And
thing.
yes, his whole face like hit the stool, his hat fell off, his money, all his money fell on the ground. So I'm just like, okay, let me help this man up. Like, oh my gosh, because it was right in front of me. And it was me and two other co-workers helping him up. And I guess this Mexican man behind me thought it was okay to say, you shouldn't push anybody's grandparent on the ground. And I turned around and I said, excuse me. And it was literally just a back and forth. And when I tell y'all, if Unc was not standing right there holding me back, it would have been a different story.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, yo, like, first of all, I'm a lady. You shouldn't disrespect a female. And
Mhm.
he had to have been intoxicated. But, I had to calm myself down. I had to breathe. I was just like, I'm not even gonna let nobody even take me out of character like that again. Because that night was crazy anyway. I think it
Uh,
was one of them nights to where I think everybody was getting kicked out. It was just a long night for us. And I was just like, I don't have time. This was too
our
much.
audience, she's being very nice and demure. Those are not the words she used that night. I just kept
I
telling her to
didn't.
go in the back.
It was MF this,
She
F
said,
you.
"Motherfucker, I'll kick your motherfucking ass if he wasn't standing
Yes.
right here."
Oh
And I
yes.
said, "Go on to the back," because
Uncle
I
was
knew
like, I got you,
she
niece.
was
I got
serious.
you. I
She
was like,
started
Unc, no, let
crying.
me go. I'm finna jaw him right
She was
here.
ready to fight right then and there. Yeah,
Oh yes, I was.
she
But
was
see,
ready to fight
like
for real,
the
for real
same,
fight.
see, like the same way you instantly handle that. I'm not saying you have to use those words with a family member or someone that has a special title for you, but as soon as you nipped it in the bud, nip everybody in the bud like that. Just choose your words right. Because
Yes,
once you
ma'am.
say it, you can't take it back. But the thing is, nip it in the fucking bud right there and be done. You rise above it and you walk the fuck off. You end the conversation. And I had to learn to quit hanging up in people's face. And I would just say, I'm about to end this call. Click. I ain't hang up in your face. I told you what I was going to do, you know? And the thing is, that's how you have to do it because for me, my mouth used to be horrible. But I didn't like the person I was after I let those words out and it
Same
started to
here.
eat at me. So, okay, this is what I had to do. When I realized I felt like a sack of shit after I just annihilated somebody with my words, oh, girl, and it could flow. And the thing is, I mean, I make a grown man step back, like, oh shit, But I was hurting. It took me a long time to get to that point, but I realized everything I was feeling. I had never been in a fight. I had never did anything really violent or anything like that. But guess what? You piss me off, I rearrange a whole room. Or I get you with my words. But I didn't physically touch somebody. But I hated the way I felt afterwards. So it's been like a 12, 13, I don't know how long process of me learning how not to do it and really just remaining silent. Because the thing is, when somebody starts treating you bad, arguing with you or whatever, walk the fuck away. Now the thing is this, you can say something slick, but going back and forth for what? If they saying all this stuff, they look really dumb saying it to themselves. Now I'm not saying this in your work setting. I'm just saying this in your outside of work setting because I get it. What y'all do, I get it. It comes with y'all's job. But the thing is, you have to get to a point to where you have power over you, you have control over you, and don't allow someone to enter your headspace and where you are because it's going to eat away at you. At the end of the night, if you got to think about it before you go to sleep, girl, if you don't literally spit that in the air and blow it somewhere, I'm serious. Do something. I don't know what. Write it on a piece of paper, ball it up, and burn it. Something. But you've got to release it. Do you journal? Do you write?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Does it help?
It does. It's everything out.
I can't hear you. What you say?
I said it does. It really helps me out because I used to be this very angry girl. And I know it was because my father wasn't there, so I didn't have that fatherly love. So I would look for love in all the wrong places. I had
Hmm.
the worst relationships, but um, when I met my boyfriend in high school, we became best friends before we even got together. And
Hmm.
it was just something about him, and I'm just like, he understands the real me. He knows I have issues. He knows I'm not perfect, and he's willing to help. And so then, when we got together, it was a roller coaster. But now I'm starting to become a better person. I'm really starting to understand people. I'm learning to communicate better. I'm learning to, sometimes if stuff bothers me, I kind of like just let it go. Because I used to be the type of person that I'm not letting it go. We gonna talk
Hmm.
about it when I want to talk about it. But I have these friendships to where they're like, Deja, like, just cool down and, then come talk to me. We don't have to talk about it this instant because you could still be upset. You could still be feeling a certain type of way. And I'm just like, I've been learning how to better that. Like, just if I have an issue with someone, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna give it a second. I'm gonna kind of get myself together. If it takes a day, if it takes a week, a month, a year, I just need to get myself prepared first so that when I do come correct, it won't be any disrespect. It won't be no hard feelings. I just want to speak my piece. You speak your piece. And if we can resolve it, we can resolve it. If not, we go our separate ways. So yeah, me journaling actually kind of helps. I do it every night when I get off of work, just to write it down, just be like, okay, like let's focus on, doing better things the next day, the day after that. Because
Hmm.
some nights at work, we be having those nights to where we're just like, yo, why are we here? We want to go home. And it's crazy because um me actually doing the security job, but it kind of has a better person on people's, I talk to people, and Unc could tell you I'm a well-known celebrity at the bar. I don't know how, but I'm a well-known celebrity there. Like just the other night, he texted me and was like, these girls are asking about you. And I'm like, who? And he was like, the girls from the night before. And I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And so like, and I tell people all the time when they meet me, I'm like, I'm a very friendly person. I'm a go-to person. I like meeting new people. I like hearing stories. Like I just like being that person. And so I've talked to everybody from teachers, rappers, artists that all come in the bar, all of that type of stuff. But yeah, I do. So hopefully with me journaling like even more, I can start to, really become a better person each and every day.
That's
And I
good.
think you said something that was very important about your man understanding where you are in life and where you trying to go. But like
Yes,
I
Lord.
told you, you real strong, Deja, like really strong.
Thank
And
you.
and so
And
but I also
sometimes,
told
yeah,
but I also
sometimes I don't think I am because of everything I've been through, and I'm just like, okay, I don't feel strong. I don't feel like I can do this. But when you have a person who's there and they're always on your side, and then you have these amazing people that are in your life that you can connect with, it's just like, okay, I know I'm not by myself. I know I have all of these great people to talk to. And so it's good to hear that because for so long I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm always by myself. I can't cope. I don't feel strong. I can't talk to nobody. Like I feel really weak. And so yeah, thank you.
but it's good that you got a man. This is important. I hope every woman hears this. It's important to have a man you can be weak to. Because
Praise
I know
Him.
y'all so
Yes.
used to having to build yourself up and be strong and face the world, and you all you got is you and you're independent. But
Oh
sometimes you do have to
yes.
have that man that can just sit there and say, baby, let it all out. Just go ahead, give me what you got. He ain't trying to fuck you. He just want to listen. He want to pat you on your back and let you just decompress and be a woman. Because
And I
like
did
I
have
told
that
you,
conversation with you too about, I
exactly.
think it was like a few weeks ago. I said, I'm an independent girl. I don't like depending on nobody. I was
Yeah.
like, but with him, it is so different. Like I used to, when we first got together, I had my own car. He didn't, but I didn't care. I was like, we can share this one car. And there will be times where I didn't have enough to pay my car note or pay my phone bill or just bills in general. He's like, babe, I got you. And I'm like, no, I got it. I don't need your help. And he's like, babe, like, I love that you're independent. He's like, but let me be that man. Let me be there
Mm,
for you. And
that's
so
right.
now I've been learning to, especially because now we live together, it's kind of been amazing for him to, like, do everything. I don't have to be like, okay, well, I don't worked all day. Let me go home, cook. Let me go home and clean. Let me do the laundry. Like the other day, we went grocery shopping and I had got off at 5 from the bar. And he's like, babe, I know you want to cook tonight, but let me cook for you. You had to work.
Mm,
I've been off. And I was
mm,
like, okay. And I was like, but I really want to cook. He's like, I understand. He was like, but you've been working, you've been on your feet. Today was my off day. Let me cook for you.
mm.
So I was like,
Let him
okay.
do it. Let him do it.
Oh
Did, did,
yes.
did
Oh
y'all
yes.
have them steaks and broccoli like we were talking about?
Oh yes. When I don't,
Mm.
I'm gonna see you. Hopefully I can come by the nudies this week. But I actually did take a picture of it and I have to show you.
Oh,
Well, I can
okay.
show you right now. I can turn on the camera right now. Let me see. It was good too.
Mm.
It was really good. Let me see.
Well, we getting ready to wrap up because I'm ready to eat.
I'm
Y'all
good.
have any closing words? Because it's been a blessing.
You see that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Mm, mm,
I would say the only thing I want to say, since it's, Mama Dearest, it's when I did used to work in the group homes or whatever, the girls that I could not reach had mother issues. And it wasn't as obvious with the boys, but with those girls, and it was usually cases where it was like neglect or where the mom chose the boyfriend, the husband, the abuser, the reason why the child was in state's custody. And that was one thing I would always want to sit down with a mother and just ask them, what makes you choose that man over your child? You know, and it still baffles the living hell out of me. I don't
dick,
get it, but hmm?
dick,
Yeah.
dick and attention.
So that's sad. So that's the answer.
Dick and attention.
And so basically they get the daughter out because they feel like he gonna probably
He
look
she
at the
gonna
daughter.
he gonna want to fuck her, not her.
So get the daughter out, give her up, turn your
Get out
back
of
on
there.
your child. Well, that is. So, it's sad, but I feel like for you to be a better person, sometimes you have to heal yourself before you try to heal your relationship with a parent or a relative. You got to work on you first, because if you're trying to give, you cannot give from an empty cup. You've got to get yourself on full and then move on to the next project. As much as you love her, I heard you say you want her at your wedding, you want her at, when you have a kid. I get that. But at the same time, make sure Deja is all right. Because if you tap out, then what? What happens when Deja taps out? You
Right.
know? So that's my closing. Just make sure you're a full cup before you can pour into somebody else.
Deja, you got any last words?
To all the mothers, to all the daughters out there watching, try to better your relationship. I know it's hard, especially with the history that y'all may have. Um, just try to work things out, because at this day and age, like you said, we're in this Black community. We need to come together as one, especially with the mothers and daughters, because young women out here today are going wild,
Mm.
with them not speaking to their mother and just out here. So I just encourage everybody to love one another, to if just be there for one another.
Mm.
And yeah.
Well, we thank you for your testimony. This has been a powerful show. Powerful. I hope
Thank you.
everybody, hope people share this show. Hope people watch this show. And I hope it stirs up some conversations because that's what it's going to take to get the gears changing. And it's going
Right.
to be uncomfortable. Oh, yeah, mama, you getting called to the carpet. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be painful. But pain is the beginning of healing. You can't hurt with if it ain't hurting, you won't heal.
Amen.
So we thank everybody for their participation. We thank everybody for watching. We want you to share it, watch this show, show it to your daughter, show it to the mamas that you know ain't shit. We trying to fix this stuff, and we trying to heal our community. With that being said, y'all have a good evening. We'll see y'all on Sunday. I ain't got a show topic yet. We might talk about something nasty. I don't know. I feel nasty. So
Not nasty though.
so we'll come up with something, but we thank y'all and we hope y'all have a good evening.